Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Wildlife. So, how did I find this? Every start of the week I look for new movies that came out on DVD that I might not have seen. Well, up pops Wildlife, which stars Jake Gyllenhaal. So, you gotta figure it's gotta be pretty good. It's also, Carey Mulligan is in it. And that's all I recognize at the moment, but when people come up, that's when I recognize them. But you know, the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, it's got to be pretty good, right? IMDb has it as 7.1. And the synopsis is very bleak. So, a teenage boy must deal with his mother's complicated response after his father temporarily abandons them to take a menial and dangerous job. That's it. That's all we got. So, here's my job. I'm going to watch it, and I'll tell you what it's really about, because that doesn't help me at all. But a 7.1 and Jake Gyllenhaal is going to get me to watch this. Never heard of it before. Like I said, I researched it to see new DVDs out this week, and this one popped up. So here we go. I'm going to check it out. Maybe you saw it, maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. But after tonight, you will, and you'll have a better idea of what it's about, and at least what I think about it. So stick around. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Wildlife. We're at the 43-minute, 20-second mark. And just to recap kind of a little bit without some spoilers. So Jake Gyllenhaal has a family. He's married to Carey Mulligan. Oh, hold on. Carey Mulligan. Right. Carey Mulligan. And his son is played by Ed Oxenbould. So it's really just the three of them pretty much in this movie. But they live out in Montana. And Jake plays somewhat of a golf pro caddy kind of guy. That's what he's doing. He plays a little golf. He was good at it at some point, but he's also seen cleaning the guys' cleats off while they're wearing them. But ends up getting let go from that position, and you know, it wears on him a little bit. And Carey her character is a stay-at-home mom, and when he gets let go from the job, it kind of creates turmoil at the home, and you know, he becomes restless and stuff like that. And meanwhile, this kid is caught up in between all this. He's going to school, whatever, and then the mother and the son get jobs. And Jake still can't take it and decides that he is going to go and fight wildfires. So there's wildfires in Montana, and a lot of volunteers go out and help fight these fires. Whether they're firemen or not, they just go out and help. And so Jake has decided that he's going to take this opportunity and do that and leave his family at home. While noble for him to do this, and he will get paid, but it's the same amount he was getting paid at the other job. He's away from his family for an extended period of time. Not sure how long. They come to think that when it snows, maybe that'll help, and he'll be able to come back. Meanwhile, his wife and child are kind of lost without him, or I shouldn't say lost, but you know, put off by him leaving. The wife especially. So she's starting to act a little bit different, trying to, you know, start standing up for herself, I guess, in a sense, you know, taking care of herself, realizing that, hey, when's he going to come back, when's he not going to come back, whatever, got to start moving on, initially, you know, to make sure that she's taking care of the family, shrink the house that they live in, get a better job, get a better paying job, those kinds of things. She's also starting to build a couple of relationships, you know, good or bad, to again fill the void that was left by Jake and him going to fight fires. And the kid too is kind of lost without, but he doesn't seem too bad. You know, he's still maintaining school, whatever. But you can see how it is, you know, hurting his psyche a little bit as he's wondering why his dad left and when he'll be back. And they've gone out to see the fire now. That's where we're at now. They're out to see the fire to see what was so important for him and why he had to leave. So that's the whole story right there. So that's a little bit better than what I gave you in the beginning with IMDb. So hopefully that helps. What I can tell you about my thoughts on the film, it was the longest 43 minutes. That I've had in a while. Like, I thought when I paused it, I was like, okay, this is a good spot to catch you up on what the actual synopsis is. I thought, well, it's probably almost over. And it's not. I got a whole hour left. It's very slow moving. You know, they didn't have to, I felt. It was, yeah. You know, so anyway, we've got a whole hour left. Maybe a lot more will happen, and it'll be a little bit more exciting. But that's where we are so far. Very slow moving. You got the idea where we're at, and that's it. I don't want to repeat myself anymore. I'll see you in a little bit. If anything interesting happens, I'll check in. If not, I'll see you at the credits. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Wildfire, and I have to say that this one's not for me. Obviously, I think over 6,000 people disagree with me. If I remember correctly, there was 6,642 people that rated this and turned it out to be a 7.1. I started to read a couple of the reviews on it, and just, I guess it's a thing of taste. I'm sure this was well shot and all that kind of stuff, and the acting was good. I really do like the kid. I thought he did a great job. I liked his acting, and I liked what they did with his character, because so this movie is essentially about this family deteriorating over time, is what's happening, and this kid's caught in the middle of all this. And he could have they could have portrayed him in a lot of different ways. Like when this happens to kids, mopey, rebellious, all those kinds of things. This kid kind of holds it together throughout the movie. So I did like the character, and I liked his acting. I thought he did a good job. One thing about him, if you look at him, he looks like a young Dax Shepard. That's what I kept thinking the whole time. But great. Jake did a good job, and Carey did it. They both did great, but didn't really like Carey's character too much. But the acting was good. There's some good shots of Montana. Montana's beautiful to look at with the mountains and stuff like that, and big sky country. Love all that. But for me, this movie, the pace, very slow. The story, very sad and depressing. I mean, essentially, as I said, it's I don't know if I mentioned this. It's in the 1960s. It's supposed to take place in the 1960s somehow, some way, and it's authentic in that sense. They have the clothing, the cars, all that kind of stuff. And initially, the wife was really a dedicated, supporting wife, and I thought that was interesting. I thought it was great. When he loses his job, she's there talking, trying to build him up and make him feel better, and the phone's going to ring off the hook is one of the things, and she's always very supportive. But of course, initially, Jake's character, he's the one who starts to deteriorate himself because he lost his job and goes off to try and do something to build himself back up. And when that happens, then the rest of the family starts to deteriorate. She, again, has somewhat of like a midlife crisis, I think. In a sense, you could see it. She's changing the way she's dressing, all that kind of stuff. So, and really looking out for herself, but takes it a little bit far. They don't tell you how long he's fighting this fire, but it doesn't seem that long. It seems like until winter. So it couldn't even be a full year that this guy was gone, and she's already moving on without him. Okay, but again, it slowly happens, so it's painful to watch it and to see what happens as they go through this, and their family just kind of start to fall apart. And that's what happens for the hour and 45 minutes. First, again, the beginning part was just Jake, his character falling apart, then it's the whole family falling apart throughout the end of it. And it's in Montana, and it's really just the three of them. There is the other, there's a guy involved as well. That's the one she started making friends with. But for me, and I'm sure there's other great qualities that I might have missed. Not the type of movie I normally enjoy. Not so much about the plot line. It was just the way that they played it out. I mean, they played out this depressing plot line with a slow pace to make it even more depressing, I felt. And so that's what I got for you. So if you're into this kind of stuff, maybe you are. I mean, to each your own. I mean, some people might really enjoy this, and I'm sure there's some other aspects of it that I missed that might even be enjoyable as well, outside of the acting, and the visualization or the cinematography. All that kind of stuff was nice, but just the story and the way that they told it and the way they drug it on. So that's what I got from it. If you check it out, let me know. I'm talking maybe a 4 or 5 for me. Again, this is just my review. I'm just a guy who watches movies and tells you what I think. It's not always you know, what everybody else thinks. So if you watch it and you like it, tell me what you like about it, what I miss. Love to hear from you. If you agree with me, you know, simple thumbs up is nice, and that's it. I'll let you go. I don't want to drag on this painful review like I did in the movie, so I'm going to take off, and thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.